Let's turn to other business news now with Emile Donovan beaming in from Wellington. Lovely to see you, Emile. And consumer spending slowed down in a big way in the past quarter.
Yeah, that's right, John. So these are figures from Stats NZ that basically show sales volumes rose by just 0.1% in the previous quarter. That is the weakest growth that we've seen in about 2.5 years, and it's way below the 1.4% we saw at the end of last year. It also marks annual sales growth of just 3%, which is the lowest rate in about 5 years. So, you know, some really notable kind of stuff, milestones coming in there. But the important question, of course, is why? And the economists that we spoke to had an interesting theory. They actually linked this to the housing market. They're saying the housing market has lost momentum, so prices aren't going up as fast as they were, which means that, for lack of a better turn of phrase, people aren't feeling as wealthy as they had been in the past. They also point to areas like household furnishings, which have softened a lot over the past few months and which are directly affected by the housing market. And they're also saying that this trend is actually likely to continue into the future, and there's likely to be some matching economic downturn to go with it. So, look, all said, this could really be the new norm, all things considered.
That's fascinating. Thanks, Emile. Look, I know you want to tell us about something that's dear to your heart, not really related to business, although you would have to own a rather large business to be able to afford the item you're going to describe, right, Emile?
Well, I'm going to take you back to my university days, John. I used to work at a bar down in Dunedin called the Bog Irish Bar, which used to be called the Albert Arms Tavern. That might ring a few bells in the audience. Now, we used to sell whiskey at this bar called Middleton's Whiskey, and we used to sell it for $35 a shot. And I would always feel very guilty when people came in to buy a snifter of Middleton's Whiskey, because $35 is an outrageous amount of money to be spending on whiskey. In my opinion, I don't feel as bad now, because today a bottle of whiskey sold at auction in Hong Kong for £814,000.
Holy moly.
There's $1.6 million. John,
tell us about it. What was it, Emile? There'll be people out there who will actually know what this whiskey is, but for those of us who are completely indifferent to the charms of whiskey, what is it?
Well, it's called the Macallan Valerio Adami. It's from a Scottish distillery called Craigellachie, and it's from the 1926 vintage, which means that this whiskey is actually older than penicillin.
Excellent.
Art aficionados will also note that the name, Valerio Adami, is an Italian artist. He actually designed the label, so valuable on more than one kind of level there. The big question that I know is on your lips in all likelihood, John, is whether it tastes any good. Unlikely that either of us will ever have the chance to experience it, because by my calculations, 30 mils of this stuff would set you back about $40,000. A single tumbler.
Wow.
So perhaps one for the bucket list.
Do you drink a bit of whiskey, Emile?
Oh, I like a wee tipple here.
So guess what this would taste like.
Oh, I couldn't do that. I don't know. I'm not even sure that my palate has really come across what this might taste like, to be honest.
No. Oh, well, we hope that whoever bought it will describe it to us in great detail when they drink it. Hey, how are the markets looking before we go?
The NZX50 is down 41 points, that's 0.48%. Closed on 8615, and the dollar's pretty steady. It's buying 68.9 US, 91.7 Australian, and 51.3 pence.
Emile Donovan, thank you very much indeed.